Hello again. I've been gone for the last couple of weeks and now I'm glad to return. I spent some time in upstate New York with some vacation time and some personal retreat study time. Some of you had asked if Kathy had gone along with me on this time away, and she didn't. She stayed home. There was plenty to do here and with our family, and of course I needed someone to stay home and feed my fish. But half of the time that I was away was spent with study. And I read several good books and did some writing and some thinking and some reflecting and some praying about the ministry here at Second Church. And I'm thankful for the annual allotment of some continuing education and retreat time. I find it very restoring and I'm appreciative for it. And I also spent then some time on vacation, and I did some hiking in the mountains and some biking in the beautiful hills around Vermont and upstate New York in this glorious time of the year. I think it was peak color in the Adirondacks while I was there. And I got to enjoy some of the fine apples from the Empire State. New York is the second largest producer of apples in the nation behind Washington, and this is the time of the year to enjoy those fresh fruits. Now, my brother has a cabin in the Adirondacks that I stay in, and it is truly a cabin. It does have electricity, but it doesn't have, for example, cell phone or Wi-Fi. It doesn't have heat like we have at home, but it does have a stone fireplace that has been heating that cabin for over a century, and it still kept me warm on some of those chilly days. And besides that, the house, the cabin, my brother has rigged it up so that there is water. There's a pond farther up the side of the mountain, and he's worked a pipe with a siphon, so it's water siphons down from that pond to the cabin. So we have nice water pressure, and we have pond water for the house. We have some fresh water that's brought in jugs for drinking and the like, but you know, if you like taking showers in warm pond water and spending time all by yourself by a old Adirondack stone fireplace, then it's a great place. Now, we all, however, experience some days and some times that are wonderful and others that are less so. Life commonly has those times that are sweet and those times that are hard. We get bright autumn days and colors like today, and other days that are dark. We get good apples, and then there are also the sour and bad ones. We get guilt, and we get grace. We get sin, we get salvation. We get grief and joy, sadness mixed in with gladness. For example, during the weeks that I was gone, Kathy and I had a longtime friend pass away. In fact, she and her husband had been here in Fremont about a year ago visiting us, and they joined us in worship one Sunday morning at Second Church. But she had what was seemingly a routine, elective, outpatient surgery for a little hernia. And a couple of hours later, her heart stopped, her breathing stopped, and she was brain dead. And we're grieving. And within the same week, a new niece of ours was baptized. We weren't able to be there, of course, but we rejoice with this covenant of grace. And even now, our oldest daughter and her husband are expecting to offer to us our fifth grandchild any day now. And so in this regard, too, our hearts, on one hand, are grieved with the loss and yet also filled with joy and expectation for what's ahead. Now, this Sunday, we're going to be reading and reflecting on Psalm 126, which remembers great struggle and great sadness and tears and grief and weeping, but also recalls and anticipates great joy, songs of joy, and hearts that are filled with gladness. And joy, it seems particularly joy which is related to recalling what the Lord has done for us. This joy is both descriptive of our life and prescriptive for it. Now, I suspect we all have things, instances and stories that grieve us, matters that weigh upon our hearts and about which we can and sometimes do complain. Things that we know are wrong and that are unjust and that need fixing, things that discourage us, things that dismay us, things that can make us mad, things that can make us just stressed. and which understandably these things sometimes just dominate our attention. And yet, Psalm 126 is a marvelous hope and a prayer, in the best sense of that expression, a hope and a prayer. And so read Psalm 126 a few times this week. And now that I'm back, I'll be working on a message from it for us for this Sunday. And I'll look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, friends of Jesus, I pray that the peace of Christ may be within your heart and within your home. And we'll speak again soon.